Hello, this is Brian with Blastbeat ATX. Still rocking the Pantera shirt. You know why? Because today you're getting a double dose of my pimping. All right, we're gonna take a slight small break from the sales and the e-commerce and the full court press. We're the San Antonio Spurs. We got to take it to the Lakers every day. No offense, my LA fans, but hey, I'm a Spurs fan the whole way from a long time back. Anyway, I want to go over the best movies of 2019. Yeah, hey, but you didn't see that coming. And what this all started with was I watched The Irishman last night. Guess what? That's one of my top movies. That 3.5 hours, and a lot of people out there may need to break that movie up into chunks, and it kind of like that could have very easily been a TV show, but it's one epic piece. It was enough like Scorsese's past films without feeling like a retread. That's what I thought going into there of like, oh my God, I've seen Mean Streets and Goodfellas and Casino and The Departed. Or is this part five? And no, not really. For one, the violence is way toned down compared to those other four movies. And this one, it's coming from a real place. It's about the mafia and the unions and the scandals in the 60s and 70s and Jimmy Hoffa and the Kennedys and that whole kind of post World War II era of the second half of the 20th century. I read a lot about that period of history. I'm very fascinated with it, and this is definitely extension of that. So yeah, I can't recommend The Irishman enough. That was an awesome, awesome movie. So, in addition to that, or including that, I set some kind of record for this decade as 2019 is wrapping up and everyone's about to start closing down businesses and shops for the year and going on Christmas break and all that. You're about to see all the best of the year and all that. And my list is pretty short. Usually, my best movies of the year list is zero movies, and I think a lot of them are crap. It's just I don't know, stuff made for kids, not for me. A lot of sequels, a lot of I'm not interested. And then there's all the social justice bull, and I come from a real artistic place. I know how to draw, I know how to write. I've been doing this stuff since I was a kid. I don't like the ham-fisted approach. I don't mind the message. I really despise the ham-fisted approach. So I'm happy to say that the four movies on my list, which again, that's like an explosion movie marathon. I saw four brand new movies this year. We had The Irishman. I just told you about that. Vice. Vice was awesome. That's basically former Saturday Night Live people. It's Adam McKay, the guy who used to be the head writer. He wrote and directed it. Steve Carell's in it. Christian Bale. What's her name? Amy Adams. 900 thumbs up. That was really good. And I appreciated it, one, for just being a semi accurate movie, but the other one of not doing that Hollywood, California thing of Republicans bad. It shows both sides of it. It's pretty even handed. On that note, I bet it doesn't get one Oscar nomination or any kind of awards because it was even handed and didn't slam the other side. So hey, I don't work there. I don't get any of that money. It don't bother me. We got The Irishman. We got Vice. We got The Dirt by Motley Crue. Or not by Motley Crue, about Motley Crue. That was Jeff Tremaine, the guy from Jackass and Big Brother magazine, finally making his, like big budget Hollywood debut of not reality show stuff, actually making a real movie. Fantastic. Fantastic. I mean, hey, I'm a Motley Crue fan from way back. I kind of knew a lot of that story already, but the way they brought it to life and had a real fine touch to it of they could have really what do you call it sensationalized everything in that movie, and they didn't. I like the little tagline in there of like it could have happened to anyone, but it did happen to us. That's the point of that movie. So we got The Irishman, we got Vice, we got The Dirt, we got my favorite movie of 2019, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Holy mother of Tarantino's the man. I didn't need to tell you that. You knew that already. But that dude is not slowing down. He's what, 56 now? Something? And that guy is suspended in a nexus in between time and space where just everything he does is flipping fantastic. This is another one. Probably, hey, Leonardo DiCaprio was very good in that movie. What's her name? Margie Roba, or whatever. The girl who played Harley Quinn. I can't pronounce her name. I can't remember, but you know who I'm talking about. She was Sharon Tate. She was awesome. That might have been Brad Pitt's best movie. That might have been Brad Pitt's best movie. And I'm a big Brad. Think about the stuff Brad Pitt has been in. You know, Fight Club, Snatch, Seven, 12 Monkeys, Benjamin Button. He has had an awesome run of being in a lot of awesome stuff, and I think this was the best. You know, he's been in a bunch of Tarantino stuff. He was in Inglourious Bastards, but he was so awesome in this. And yeah, the Bruce Lee scene might have been a little disrespectful, but it we're getting hung up on like 1 minute of a 150-minute movie. You know, a lot of stuff and a lot of moving parts in there. Don't boycott it because of the Bruce Lee thing. If anything, you should watch it and then read about Bruce Lee's life and make your own decision. I think Tarantino put that scene in there, one, to kind of set up Brad Pitt's character and what he's all about, but to have that mental debate of are we romanticizing the idea of Bruce Lee or are we actually celebrating the man? You know, and again, that's a small part of the movie. Charles Manson plays a much bigger part in that movie than Bruce Lee does. So, what do these four films have in common? Vice, The Dirt, The Irishman, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They're all halfway based on real events. You know, we got biography of Dick Cheney, the biography of Motley Crue, a retelling of the Jimmy Hoffa scandal, a retelling of the Charles Manson scandal. I do a little bit long for the days of movies like The Usual Suspects and The Matrix that were actually genuinely original and weren't based on a comic book or, I'm not bad mouthing that, but you take a look at the logos behind me. How many of those have been turned into movies? Damn near all of them. You know, I wish there was a little more originality, but these four were actually genuine films, cinema. You know, I enjoyed them very much. I hope there's more in the next year. So I'm going to part on this video giving you all your sales tip of the day. And that goes back to The Dirt. That movie has introduced an entire new generation of people to the music and life of Motley Crue. Now, am I talking about the millennials? No, no, no. Millennials are like 30 and have kids now and jobs, and they got fat and boring. Kidding, you know, but I'm not on the blame the millennials for everything trail. You know, I think the new kids, like the high school kids and younger now, are called the Zoomers, Generation Z. They, this is all brand new to them. So if you're like me and you bought these in a mall in 1989 and you're not listening to them on the regular, you may think about selling these. And for everyone else, if you're, you know, resale stores, Goodwill, half price books, I don't think all of the Hastings closed down, but all places that have like used CDs and used records and used tapes, pick up the Motley Crue stuff out of the dollar bin because you could probably find it in the dollar bin. Dr. Feelgood by itself sold something like 8 million copies. These are around, you know. There is a market for this stuff when they were collecting dust a few years ago. So enjoy Motley Crue, enjoy the holidays, watch these four movies. You don't need to really watch anything else, but watch these four, and I'll be back later. Blastbeat ATX, this is Brian with Blastbeat Industries. Have a good evening.